We're trying to figure out why drugs, they'll control guns, soda, banking, education, everything in your life, but drugs, no. That's to keep you fat and sassy. And why the big push on guns right now? Why are they so intent on guns? Well, it's Sandy Hook, right? No, it's not. The nations of the world right now are gathering in New York City for a final round of talks, and no one is telling you about this, and you need to be aware. 150 countries are all in New York right now trying to reach an agreement on an international set of new gun regulations. The United States official position is, we want a strong treaty. Oh, I bet you we do. As of right now, anyone who signs on to this treaty will agree to establish common standards for regulating the international trade in conventional arms. Wow. How are you going to do that with Benghazi? How about this one? We have to eradicate the illicit gun trade. How are you going to do that with our Department of Justice running guns across the border? And I love this one. We will agree to prevent guns from contributing to human suffering. Whoa. What does that even mean? Oh, it's a whole bunch of new international regulations that will regulate everything from battle tanks to small arms and light weapons. In other words, every single weapon imaginable, it will be covered in this treaty. Everything from this to this. All of it. It has an establishment of a national control list. The establishment of a national control list. Wow. I'd like you to look at this another way, because it's really about one thing. That's it. This treaty is so easily abused because it's worded so vaguely. It's written in the style of Obamacare. You'll have to pass it to know what's in it. Oh, yeah, that works out well. But make no mistake, we will hand over a large chunk of our sovereignty to the UN, and it could affect the types of military assistance we could provide to other countries. Oh, like, I don't know, Israel. Human suffering, you know. It will also affect what you will be allowed to have in your own home. It also will short-circuit the Constitution and the Second Amendment. Our Constitution says that any treaty ratified and signed by the President and the Senate becomes law. That needs to happen, right? Okay, we asked, what exactly has to happen here? Mike Kelly, Representative Mike Kelly, his office is pushing the resolution against the arms treaty. And he says, our delegation does not vote for the treaty, but we're going to vote for the treaty. He says the next thing that could happen to stop it is the president doesn't sign it, but he's expected to sign it. And then the Senate can't ratify it, right? Okay, right now it looks like the Senate will ratify it. The good news? Representative Kelly just got a Democrat from West Virginia to stand with them and the co-sponsors for a resolution against the arms treaty, and it continues to grow. The end of the Second Amendment is being written right now. And why aren't you hearing this everywhere? The sponsors believe they have passage, and no one in the national media is talking about it. Thank you for helping us build The Blaze. The need for this network and more of them like it is more apparent with each huge story the media takes a pass on. And while they sleep, the nudge we warned about is about to become the shove we have feared. So what do? Well, the first thing you do is decide what is the most important battle in your life, and then concentrate on it with everything you have. It might be education. It might be banking. It might be guns. I don't know what it is. If it's education, get involved with Fighting Common Core. Yesterday on the radio, we talked to a representative of a German family who is in a battle with the DOJ, and the DOJ will not recognize Germany's refusal to allow them to homeschool. This is actually a Nazi law passed by Hitler, and we won't say that it's persecution. We are defending, our DOJ is actually arguing in a U.S. court that you don't have a human right to homeschool your children. What happens if this becomes the official stance of the U.S. government? Here's a clip from the radio yesterday.
Human rights is really equivalent to constitutional rights in this particular context. We will not survive this as a nation if the government wins. And it's even more insidious than might be apparent, because their contention is not only are parental rights not valid, not only is religious freedom not valid on an individual basis, but they really take the position that no individual liberty is a subject of human rights protection.
Okay. There it is, gang. By the way, you want to see that whole thing, you can find it up on demand at TheBlaze.com/TV. It was yesterday's radio program, I think the first hour. It's an amazing half hour. If you believe in education, you got to get involved right now. If you believe guns, the Second Amendment is your piece of the puzzle, get everybody you know to get involved. Join the NRA, the only organization with enough clout, I believe, that has a chance to stop the steamroller that is coming our way. If you think the UN Arms Treaty is really important and bad, then you need to get on the phone, call the representatives, and tell them, do not vote for this. But they believe the president will do it anyway. That's why they're working in the House and the Senate to stop him. Call your representatives and tell them to vote for HCON Resolution 23. HCON Resolution 23. It tells the president, we do not accept the UN treaty, and he can't make a move. But you also need to get the senators to vote on it too. Call your senators and tell them to vote for HCON Resolution 7. Same message. That's 7 for the Senate and 23 for the House. Both of them handcuff, as much as this guy can be handcuffed, the president so he cannot act unilaterally. You've got to move forward. And we have to keep bringing more people in on the conversation. For those who don't think the president would ever just go around the Constitution, I will introduce you to some people who have been in the news lately and who have had their guns taken without warrants and have been threatened. Don't let our liberty go the way of Cyprus. More in a second.